Hey everybody, this is Jordan McCullough with the Crohn's Veteran Podcast. Thank you so much for joining me. I am joined by my co-host CJ Cabrera. Renika Wood is off today. How you doing, CJ?
Doing all right. I'm doing all right, man. How you doing?
I'm doing fabulous, and so I'm super excited. We are honored and grateful to have a legendary colitis veteran with us today, coming out of Lincolnshire, United Kingdom. Rico Franco is a world champion bare-knuckle boxer and pro MMA fighter with an impressive 6-0 undefeated record. Rico also fights against ulcerative colitis every day, which he has been so gracious to share with his journey with us today. Rico, how you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic now, thank you. Yeah, doing really great. So yeah, really good.
Awesome. Before I'm seeing your story and seeing your stuff on Instagram, it just kind of really struck me as just fascinating stuff. And so beyond, I'm just curious about just a little about your background, childhood, kind of like what you were doing before you were fighting and before colitis and everything.
Yeah, so just a normal child, really. Just had a normal upbringing. Had a good upbringing, and I was always active, like always doing sports, football, swimming, and I just always liked to be active and doing something. Do you know what I mean? There was something there that I just needed, and I finally found it. That was obviously fighting, but there was always something there. I went through a few different sports, but I was quite an active kid. I loved to be adventurous, and I had a good little upbringing, and then just got into the fighting. That's crazy.
So what sports were you kind of interested in? What were some of the sports that you were playing?
Mainly football. When I was I started swimming when I was young, and I swam. I was swimming for like the local club. I was doing like competitions and that as well. And obviously, when you're a kid, you grow out of things. So I went into football, and I was playing football for so many years, really competitive as that. And and after football, I kind of grew out of that, and that's when I started the boxing. But it was mainly football and swimming to start with, and then like a few bits on the side. I used to like do different sports like in between, but I committed to football really and swimming. That was the two main ones. Yeah, so
awesome, CJ.
As for boxing, did you jump into bare knuckle boxing right away, or did you do like with the gloves and stuff?
No, started MMA, mixed martial arts. I probably had over 60 odd fights altogether in multiple disciplines. So Muay Thai, K1, and a few white collar boxing fights, but mainly amateur mixed martial arts, probably 26, 27 fights, and then Muay Thai, boxing, K1, and then I went into pro MMA. I've had 10 pro MMA fights.
Wow.
And then that is when I went into BKB and started. I only went in to try it just to see what it was like, and I didn't expect it to take off like this.
Wow. And that's
Go ahead, Jordan.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So what would you say is the biggest difference, fighting, between like bare knuckle and actual gloves?
Yeah, so obviously with gloves, there's a lot of padding and stuff, but for me it was a good transition from MMA, which is 4-ounce gloves.
Mm-hmm.
There's not much padding on 4-ounce, and the range when you're punching and sparring is quite similar to bare knuckle. So it wasn't actually a big. What I was expecting was a lot worse than it was, because I'm used to fighting MMA.
Right.
But when I spar with boxing gloves on and take off boxing gloves to MMA gloves, there's a massive difference, and that's what it's like. That's why I think MMA fighters are doing well in bare knuckle, because the transition from gloves to smaller gloves, like finding the range, and it's a massive difference, and it can like mess a lot of games. You got to have different game plans. It is a big difference, to be fair. It's more realistic.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, it would be awesome. It'd be awesome to go to a bare knuckle fight. Sometime. I live in Las Vegas, right? And so Nevada over here, it's kind of one of those like fighting capitals. And so that's something that I've always wanted to do is see a fight. And so especially seeing like bare knuckle boxing, that'd be super awesome. So.
I know.
How's the training for that? For bare
Yeah,
knuckle boxing?
it's pretty similar. I get a lot of questions for this as well. People think you're dipping your hands in petrol and glass. It's not like that. It's not like Van Damme. It's pretty much similar training. Like I still spar in boxing gloves. A lot of times I'll punch the bag in MMA gloves as well, and I'll do a bit of light sparring in MMA gloves as well. But you can't spar bare knuckle. You can't spar hard in MMA gloves because you'll end up getting knocked out. And you know what I mean. So I just do everything similar in boxing gloves, but because I've got plenty of fight experience already, like I could just jump in now. Do you know what I mean? So I don't really, yeah. But for people who haven't got that fight experience, then I'd definitely get a lot more fight experience for doing bare knuckle, definitely. But it's good that I've had a good background to then jump in, use the experience. So yeah, it's good, like really good.
For your knuckles, how did you train your knuckles to be so strong? Because I know it takes a lot of strength and endurance to keep your knuckles up.
I know. So I sometimes punch the punch bag a little bit, just bare knuckle, but obviously you need a bit of wrist support. But sometimes do a few press ups on the knuckles as well to condition them. But yeah, just they're pretty solid and conditioned already, to be fair. So
Okay.
yeah, yeah. To be fair, my hands, touch wood, have been pretty. I've not had one injury after 6 fights because I think it's the way you fight bare knuckle. You've got to fight a bit smarter than just going in brawling because you know you got to kind of pick them shots a bit more. A lot of people who go in brawling, they end up coming out with
broken
swollen
hand.
hands, and you know what I mean. The recovery is ages. So, like my last fight, I kind of just picked them shots and everything just worked perfect. So I didn't even have any hand injuries after that last fight. After the last 2 fights, and that was 13 rounds altogether. So you'd think they'd be messed up. So
Wow.
it's just the way you really fight. You've just got to punch them and not get hit. It's got to be clever the way you fight. Yeah, really. But
Okay.
it's technical.
So yeah, so what are some what are some goals that you still have in the sport? Would you say?
Go over to the States. Go over to the States and fight some big names out there. Or even if they come over here, I want to fight some big names. I basically want to travel the world and fight and just get paid. That's basically.
That'd be
And
amazing.
the goal is to fight MMA again because before I turned ill, before last lockdown, before the COVID strike, I was sparring with a UFC fighter, Mark Diakese. I was his main sparring partner for the UFC, and like that just gave me more confidence of going into MMA again because I probably had 2 years out of a mixed martial arts because I started the bare knuckle and concentrated on that for a while, and then I was just about to get back into MMA again, but then I fell ill. So yeah, it's just if the promotions will let me fight with the ostomy bag, that's the only. And if I can find a bit of I will fight 100%. I'll fight MMA. That's just in my mindset. I'll fight MMA, but it's just I need to find the right support belt and guard just that will cover it, and the venue and the event that will let me fight on it. But with boxing's pretty easy because the boxing guard comes above the stoma, so that's all good. Yeah.
Okay.
So to kind of transition, to talk about the class a little bit, like so first of all, so are there any products on the market for MMA, that can for stomas, like are there is there anything that you can buy? You're saying that the boxing shorts cover that up, but for MMA, is there anything similar that people that are in your same situation can go out and buy?
Yeah, I've seen a few things like there's a few like guards. Do you know when you get the groin protector for MMA, you can kind of get similar like cup and guard for the stoma, and then you get like a little belt comes around. So I reckon that could work, and then you've just got to figure out what works really. I'll have to just trial a few things and see what's working, and get a nice tight support belt, and make sure if someone kicks me or knees me to the stomach, like the impact won't cause any damage.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's just that I've done a bit of grappling. I did this bit of grappling last week, and it was pretty fine. I could, move around and stuff. So yeah, I've just got to trial a few things.
Okay. Have you ever had like any accidents with the bag or anything while in a fight?
No, I've because I've not had a fight yet since I've had the surgery. So this will be my first one in August.
Okay.
So I only had the surgery. I only got the ostomy bag in November.
Okay.
So just gone. So it's only been about 5-6 months, but my recovery's been super quick, and I've booked a fight for the rematch August 14th. So quick turnaround. I didn't think I was going to be fighting this year at all, but I've got like 3 triathlons booked in. I've got a fight booked in. So
Wow. That's inspirational.
That's so awesome.
If I don't keep busy, then it's just going to go downhill. So I've just got to keep everything just every day, just flat out.
I'm not mad at you. So like, and so wow, that's a lot. Almost like lost my train of thought. Just just thinking about all that stuff you're doing. But and so colitis. So you're saying that you haven't fought since since you're had to have the ostomy and stuff. And so so for the folks listening, can you give us just a little bit of background on kind of what led up to your diagnosis?
Yeah, so it started probably about 10 years ago. I was just getting the common symptoms like cramping, losing a lot of the blood, going to the toilet constantly about 50 times. And I kept going to the doctors, and for about a year they kept saying it was IBS. And I've had a lot of people message me saying this is the same thing. So I'm like, now, because I'm raising awareness, people are coming to me saying, I've got these symptoms. They're saying it's IBS, but that's what I went through. So I've been telling them to go straight, like, to try and go to A&E and say, look, I need to be seen. Because that's what they just kept doing, saying it was IBS. They didn't really know. And then eventually I went to get some blood tests I just went to A&E hospital. And the inflammation was high. So they sent me to a specialist. Waited another 6 months, got a camera, and then that was when it was like severe colitis straight away. So at the time I knew it was bad, but sometimes for the first maybe 5 years it was really severe, and then I kind of went into remission for maybe a year, and that's when I kind of took it for granted a little bit, and then that's when it went downhill last year, beginning of COVID, just the start of COVID it was. Well, just after, and then it just went downhill really quick. But yeah, about 10 years I've been suffering. So pretty much most of my career. My first fight was 10 years ago, but it's pretty much every fight I've had has been really bad. I don't think I should have even had any fights, but I managed to get this far. So yeah, it's pretty mad.
Man, it's amazing. It's amazing it's amazing what grit and determination can do.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, you don't know. I didn't realize how fatigued and ill I was, because when you've had it for so long, you just kind of deal with it, don't you? It's just a day-to-day thing. You just like, because you are in pain, but you just put it to the back of your mind and you just think, oh, just crack on. It's there. Just deal with it. I know what's coming. And then even when you're flaring up on the toilet, you just get on with it. You're just like, oh, it's just another flare up. But like, if any normal human didn't experience that, like when my partner has a bit of cramping, bad stomach, like, geez, I couldn't imagine what he was going through. I'm like, yeah, let's just deal with it. That's what just used to put up with it. And then now, since having the ostomy bag, I've realised how ill I actually was, and it's quite bad, really. Like, I couldn't believe I used to live like that.
Your quality of life changed and improved when you got the bag.
100%, yeah. It's just like, it's weird not having the cramping anymore. Every day, and it's weird not rushing to the toilet. I don't fart anymore. But yeah, it is mad. Like, I thought the bag was going to be. I thought my career was going to be over. I thought my life was going to be changing, and my life's changed just for the better. Really, I'm doing everything I did before, just better because I've got more energy. I'm not worrying about toilet. I'm not stressing. Like for me, fight camps, I used to. I couldn't go any further than 5K on a run because my stomach would be too bad. So, but now I'm doing half a marathons and 4-hour bike rides. So it's a big relief and not much stress. There's less stress now. Yeah, it is crazy, really, how bad it actually is. And
That's
no one can see
amazing.
it.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
No.
No, it's just, I mean, it's a, you know, I mean, you're an inspiration to a lot of people because, I mean, just thinking about anybody out there that's thinking about being a fighter or something like that, it's like, well, you know, Rico could do it. If Rico's out there fighting, fighting out a messed up, jacked up stomach, you know, no, I think anybody can do it. So
Like it's pure determination, honestly.
exactly, just it's like how bad do you want it, right? How bad do you want it?
Yeah, exactly. That's
Mm.
it. You just gotta like it's all in the mindset, obviously, but sometimes I was a bit stupid training. I was doing too much training, then losing blood while I'm training, and I'm like just carrying on. And next day I'd carry on, but I didn't used to listen to my body either. Like that's how crazy my mindset is. It's just like just train through it. But yeah, it's one of them things. I don't regret anything I've done because it's where I am. Everything happens for a reason, I believe, and that's where I am now, I suppose. So
Yeah. So beyond fighting, like what are some things that you do to kind of to keep your mind in a positive in positive. What do you do to kind of to maintain positivity, to maintain just because just having colitis, having ostomy, ileostomies, those kind of things can just be so anxiety, depression, all these things. And so I know working out and exercising really helps and stuff like that. But but what else do you do in your life to try to maintain?
yeah. So basically, yeah. So I'm on an ileostomy group on Facebook, and everything's just so negative, and everyone's moaning. I think I'm the only one who loves having this bag. Like, no, there is quite a lot who loves the bags. It's changed their life, but I think for me, it's just I've set that many targets and goals in my head for like what I want to do and where I want to be. It's like all I'm thinking about is that, and I never think about my bag anymore. Like I never even. Sometimes I forget it's there because I'm not focused on what I want to do and where I want to be. Like I've got a set training program, triathlon and boxing for my next camp. I'm getting ready for my next camp to start, and like every day I'm just thinking, right, what session am I going to do? So like every day I've got like little targets. So I think it's important to set like targets every day, small little goals, and then set some bigger ones. Like obviously I booked like 2 triathlons back to back. That's in 2 weeks, and then I've got the Jimmy fight coming up, and then I've got my end goals like fighting in the States, fighting in America, fighting around the world. So like in my mind, I'm just like thinking, right, I've just got to just get on with it. Like, every session I'm just treating like as a fight, and in my mind, it's just giving me so much motivation because I'm thinking where I want to be, and sometimes I think when I'm struggling in training, like if I've got a hard session, I'll think what I've been through, and I'm like, listen, I'm going to prove people wrong, like you know what I mean. So I just think of like laying in that hospital bed, like on my deathbed, and I'm like, I'm gonna smash this and get through this workout. You know, every day I'm just like trying to. It's crazy, really. I've never trained like this before. It's just made me so much stronger. It's unbelievable. But yeah, really good. Like really good. My mindset's bulletproof.
It's crazy how we push through things.
I know. Like, yes. I mean, so that's. I mean, that's so. Trying to think what else was going to ask you. So, yeah. So what are things? What are some things you're doing to, so this fight you're having in August, and so what are some specific things that you're doing to train between now and
then? What in the mindset or training?
Like I guess how do you prepare? Like I think that'd be a better question. Is like how do you prepare mentally for these fights?
So mentally before the fights, like I'd mentally prepare by just every day I'd be visualizing Jimmy Sweeney every day, and like even visualizing the whole night. But so the 14th of August is the fight night, and in my head, because I've been to the same venue, London O2, in my head I'll just be visualizing like weighing in, warming up in the background, in the backstage, like walking out to the fight, and just visualizing like when I'm in the fight. Do you know what I mean? Like visualizing knocking him out every day, because this is what I did for the last fight, and I was visualizing just winning for about a whole year, because I was in the prize fighting tournament, and the winner gets to fight Jimmy. But it was kind of bad because I looked past every person, and I was just thinking of Jimmy Sweeney at the end. And for a whole year, I was just visualizing beating him, and mentally, that's all I did, and it happened, and it was just crazy. So I'm just doing the same again, but just better, to be fair. And I believe it's like similar to like Conor McGregor, what he says. You know, he visualizes knocking people out, and the more you do, it happens all the time. So if you mentally prepare really well, then you know what I mean. It's better than being physically prepared, because if you can be in the best shape ever, but then if your mental stage just goes before a fight, then you've lost straight away. Because I've had that. I've been in an amateur fight before where I've lost before I've already walked in, because I was nervous. I was thinking about what the guy was doing, and I've already lost, and I went out and lost submission. So it's all in the mindset, really. It's pretty mad walking into a fight, but obviously two guys want to take each other's heads off. So
right.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's mad.
CJ?
With I have UC as well, and I deal with a lot of inflammation. Do you deal with inflammation as well? Especially with your like knuckles? I get bad inflammation, and it's just from playing video games. I can't imagine bare knuckle boxing.
Get like crampy feelings, and it feels like arthritis sometimes. Is that what? Yeah. Yeah, I do get that in my hands sometimes, especially when it's cold. But when it's warm, it's normally all right. But yeah, obviously training all the time and a lot of endurance, I get a lot of inflammation in the body. So that's where I try and get the most, because recovery is most important while, you know, you're training 2-3 times a day. So, and again, I've always struggled with sleeping. So that's another thing I need to try and work on, sleep, because sleep's like #1 recovery. But I do struggle sleeping sometimes, because during the day I ain't got time to think. Like I'm just non-stop every day, but then comes to bedtime, it's like everything's rushing through my mind. I'm like, I can't switch off.
Right. I have the same problem. I can't.
Same here.
Yeah, I can't. I have a really hard time turning off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. My missus hits the pillow, she's gone, and it winds me up. And I'm there like up and down all night, like trying to figure out, come on. So I've even like I'm starting to meditate a little bit before bed now, and it's helping a little bit, to be fair. I've actually got one of my coaches, triathlon. He does Ironmans and triathlons, and he's a mind coach, John Wattham. And he's so good with the mind. He gets you in a good mental state. And he sent me some stuff over to try and get some like meditating, like some YouTube stuff. So that all helps as well. And obviously, yeah, takes away a bit of the information as well. You know, resting, recovery, meditation. I have a lot of ice baths as well, so they're good for information. Cold water therapy, I highly recommend. Takes a bit of anxiety, stress away as well. It's pretty good, really good.
Do you take any supplements?
I take turmeric, curcumin and turmeric, vitamin D3 and some like omega-3s, and just protein, really. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay.
I just have a really good diet, so I think diet's the most important. Diet's like medicine, food's medicine. So
yes,
what you put into your body, I suppose. But obviously, with colitis and Crohn's is a different story, because when I was in a fight camp, I was like trying to cut weight. Sometimes I'd cut 10 kg to fight, and it's ridiculous. But trying to eat salads and fruit, they make your stomach worse. So it's like, what, you can't win. And then I'd have to starve myself, and then that won't work, because that would obviously a bit. I used to try a lot of fasting as well, like intermittent fasting. That used to take the inflammation away a little bit as well, and it used to help my stomach settle down. But then you can't train while fasting, so it was a nightmare trying
to lose.
trying to do weight cuts for fight with colitis is like horrendous.
I bet. Wow. So I said again, salute, salute to everything that you've accomplished. It's no small feat. And so you definitely have our respect over here. Like fellow colitis veterans. And so I just wanted to ask you, I guess, a small favor. We have in addition to the show, we have actual merch. Like we have like hoodies and T-shirts and stuff like that. And so if I was to send a hoodie out to your way, would you kind of rock it for us?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100%. That would be good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. We appreciate you. Yeah, we'll make sure that we'll get you one. We just appreciate you being here, and I think it's really awesome to have like a boxer, fighter, all that stuff. Rocking with Clones better, Colitis better, and stuff. So
yeah.
But yeah. So like one, I guess before we get out of here, if people want to support you, if people want to reach out to you, like how can they do so? And also, if there's any, Crohn's colitis, things that you're working on that people can, like reach out to you too about.
Yeah. So on Instagram, it's Rico Franco BKB, and same as Facebook page, Rico Bonbon Franco. Don't ask about the bonbon. That's just I used to eat a lot of bonbon sweets when I was a kid, and everyone used to call me Bonbon. I've even called my dog Bonbon as well. So it's just a funny fight name, I suppose. But yeah, that's why basically since getting the alostomy, I didn't really know much about it. I had one friend that had an alostomy bag, but I didn't know he had it until I said I was going for surgery, and then he kind of contacted me and said I had the bag, but I didn't really know anything about alostomies, or that's why I was so nervous. But that's why I'm using my platform now to do a bit of raising awareness for it and trying to help some people out. And since coming out, posting about it, there's so many people, like hundreds of people have been messaging me, and it's crazy how many people's got colitis, Crohn's, alostomy, and struggling daily with it. And I get a buzz out of helping people. So because I know how bad it is, and normal people don't really understand. They're like, stay strong, but they don't understand how bad it is. So yeah, just helping some people out is definitely a good buzz. And if I can just help a few more out, that'll be great. You know what I mean? So that's why I keep posting pictures of me top off, just with the bag hanging out. I don't mind.
Yeah, so, it's awesome. Yeah, because that was kind of what this that struck me. It was like when I saw it, I was like, wow, this dude. Not only is he a talented, accomplished fighter, but he also has colitis, in the bag and all that stuff. And it's like, man, I know that's inspiring to people. I know that moves people and stuff like that, And so,
Yeah.
you're, so you're an inspiration, and and we definitely appreciate you being here, taking the time out, being patient, like getting this all scheduled and set up, all that. So, appreciate you, man. And but for anybody listening, if you like Crohn's Veteran and you like what we're doing, please support us. Subscribe. You can check us out at www.crohnsveteran.com. Like I was telling Rico here, we have amazing Crohn's and colitis merch on our Teespring store, so you can please check that out too. We're on YouTube. We're on all the podcast platforms: Apple, YouTube, Spotify, all that cool stuff. Please support us again. Subscribe, hit the like button, all that stuff, all that fun stuff. And again, Rico, wishing you much success in all your endeavors, and thank you so much. We're grateful for you being here, man.
Appreciate it, mate. Thank you both for having me on. And I think it's a great thing what you're both doing, raising that awareness for such a horrible thing. So, just making people more confident as well, I suppose. So yeah, just keep getting it out there. You're doing a good job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Really good.
Appreciate it. We'll see you later.
Thank you very much.
All right, bye-bye.